My dear students, Deepa ma'am here. Hope you all are safe at home. Since 12th standard is a turning point in your life, I know that you and your parents will be quite worried as we are going through such a critical situation. But don't worry, everything will be okay soon with God's grace. Stay safe at home. You might be knowing that we have formed official WhatsApp group for the students of a particular class, including the concerned teachers. So in the coming days, we will be communicating through WhatsApp group, and teaching modules will also be sent to you. Listen and try to understand the topics. If you have any doubts, each one of you can communicate it to me personally. I'll be happy to clarify your doubts. So today I'm going to start with surface chemistry. In this chapter, you will be studying about adsorption, catalysis and colloids. So what is meant by surface chemistry? Surface chemistry deals with the study of processes or phenomena that occur at the surfaces or interfaces. It can be the solid gas, liquid, solid or liquid gas interfaces. Adsorption is one of the surface phenomenon which you will be studying in this chapter. You are quite familiar with the process adsorption. For example, if few drops of water is put over sponge, you know that water will go into the bulk of the sponge. It is not that water will remain only on the surface of the sponge. Since water gets into the bulk of the sponge, we say that water gets absorbed by the sponge. But in the case of adsorption, the molecules will get accumulated only on the surface. It will not go into the bulk. So adsorption is a surface phenomenon. So how can you define adsorption? It can be defined as the accumulation of molecular species at the surface rather than in the bulk of a solid or a liquid. The species or the substance that gets accumulated on the surface can be called as adsorbate, and the material on the surface of which adsorption takes place can be called as the adsorbent. So these are the two terms associated with adsorption. One is adsorbate, the substance which gets adsorbed, and the other is adsorbent, the material on the surface of which adsorption takes place. This figure helps you to distinguish between adsorbent and adsorbate. The adsorbate gets adsorbed on the black adsorbent. You should know what is meant by desorption. Now from the figure it is clear that desorption is just the opposite of adsorption. So desorption can be defined as the removal of the adsorbed substance from the surface of an adsorbent. What is meant by the term sorption? It is a phenomenon in which both adsorption and absorption occurs simultaneously. For example, consider a white chalk dipped in blue ink. After dipping the white chalk in blue ink, take it out and observe the surface of the chalk. You will find that it has turned blue. The surface has turned blue. It is because the blue dye component has been adsorbed only on the surface of the chalk. So here adsorption of the dye component has taken place. Next, take the chalk and break it into two pieces. inside the chalk you will find that it is not blue, but it has become wet. Why it has become wet? It is because water is being absorbed by chalk. So this is an example where you find both absorption and adsorption has taken place. The dye component has been adsorbed and water has been absorbed by the chalk. So here sorption has taken place.